3.
Welcome to Arts and Leisure on the HAN Network. This is our weekly program featuring everything that is coming up in the area's music, arts, and entertainment scene. We will interview local artists, authors, musicians, and even some nationally recognized names who may be performing here in our area. We will have movie reviews and film suggestions from the real dad, Mark Schumann, and etiquette tips from Catherine Michaels. This is your all-access pass, and here are your hosts, Arts and Leisure editor Sally Sanders and our entertainment reporter Steve Coulter.
Welcome to Arts and Leisure on the HAN Network. I'm Steve Coulter. I'm joined on the couch with Sally Sanders as always. We're going to be talking about the Tribeca Film Festival today. I was lucky enough to go down last Saturday, spend 5 or 6 hours downtown in New York City.
Just absorbing it all.
Yeah, and I was there before all the celebs and the red carpets were put out, but I got to see 3 very interesting movies, and the way that they aligned were pretty crazy. I got to see 3 movies that were made by 3 female directors about women.
These were all first-time directors, too, I think.
So, Katie Holmes' movie was the first one I saw,
Yeah.
All We Had. She's a first-time director. And then Sophie Takal, it was her second movie doing Always Shine, starring Caitlin Fitzgerald and Mackenzie Davis. And then the documentary Southwest of Salem, I believe the documentarian had done a few other films.
That's Deborah Eskenazi.
Correct.
Yeah. How did Katie Holmes do? This was the subject of some debate online. I was reading about it.
I thought the movie itself was good, and the acting was really strong. It was a coming-of-age drama with her and her daughter kind of on the road. Mm-hmm. She's been in a couple bad relationships, and the daughter's kind of got to prop her up, Come on, Mom.
This could be kind of real life in there, too.
Yeah, and it's post-recession, so it's very contemporary. I think it's set in 2014, 2015. And so they're kind of, helping each other out, the daughter helping her out even more. I think where the film lacks is a lot of the screenplay, actually. It's not her, per se, as the director or even her as an actress. I thought she did a good job. I thought her daughter did a good job. But some of the lines were really kind of just tacky, and they felt misplaced. I felt she could have cut out some of the scenes or cut out some of the lines, and it could have been even stronger.
Yeah, this was screenplay by Josh Boone, so she was not involved with that. And Richard Kine's in it.
Yes.
Luke Wilson,
Luke
right?
Wilson, you're right.
He's the love interest eventually. So she's got some good characters to play off.
Yeah, some great acting. Again, it's the acting is not the problem. It's, I think, more the writing. And a lot of people in the theater afterwards were definitely saying that they wish that she had been maybe more selective with what she was included in the movie in terms of what was said. And I agree. I think the screenplay was definitely the weakest part. Of the 3 that I saw, I think that was the weakest one. It also was the first one I saw at like 9 in the morning. So
maybe you hadn't been sufficiently caffeinated.
Yeah, I had to catch like a 7 a.m. train to go down to the city to make it to these ones. And I was telling you before the show, I intended to see Wolves with Michael Shannon before, missed it. So I got in line to see this one, and then 15 minutes after this one ended, the world premiere of Always Shine with Caitlin Fitzgerald and Mackenzie Davis was there, and so I said, why not do another feature film?
Sticking with it.
Exactly,
yeah.
And so Always Shine is competing for the U.S. narrative competition, which is, I think 10 films are competing for it, so that's like kind of the top U.S. prize. And it's a very interesting movie. And when we're talking about movies made by women about women, this is the movie, I think, that speaks a lot about what's going on in Hollywood and the actress's dilemma. The main theme is identity and jealousy, and these two are just pitted against each other from...
These are 2 old friends.
Friends, and you got to put that in quotation marks, because from the get-go, you can tell that there's something off. And it's very Hitchcockian, and there's a little bit of Brian De Palma in there, the way that Takal did it. So they're driving up the coast, and the story is that they're 2 actresses. Caitlin Fitzgerald's Beth is much more successful than Mackenzie Davis's Anna, and Anna is she is fiery. She's the opposite of what you'd expect from a female. Basically, she's very intense. From the opening scene, she's arguing with a mechanic. And so she has a lot of meaty parts in this movie, and they go up to Big Sur for the weekend, and from there, that's where the chaos kind of comes in.
So do you think this is a commentary on which actresses get ahead in Hollywood, the ones who are compliant and do as they're told, as opposed to
Beth's character is very ladylike, very what you would think an actress should be, or what a woman should be.
Just
and
from
Anna's is the opposite, and her career is struggling
Yeah.
basically because of that. But there's no question that Anna's the better of the two actresses. They read some dialogue from Beth's movie, and yeah, it's, as I said to you, it's like it's a psychological thriller, but there's like some really funny parts to it because it's just like they're so not friends. Like every scene is just like their relationship's deteriorating. Right
this film you're saying has better dialogue.
Oh yeah, the dialogue is great. The direction is amazing. I gave it an A minus. I thought it was the best that I saw there. The editing was really well done. The director did a great job of using that scenery, the wilderness. There's a couple shots of them in the woods that are done very effectively.
This is in Big Sur.
Big Sur,
yeah,
up in California. Beautiful. So you see Caitlin Fitzgerald's character. This is after they kind of have their spat in the woods, and she's walking alone, and she gets picked up, and it's just soaked with passive aggressiveness. They're just like the whole time, they're kind of throwing barbs at each other, but it's not direct until Caitlin Fitzgerald gets on the phone to her boyfriend, and she just starts saying how evil Mackenzie Davis's character is, and that's when they go back into the woods and the real confrontation happens. But yeah, there's some funny moments. There's some moments where I was looking up at the ceiling because it got so uncomfortable. But it's
really,
yeah, it's
really?
The pressure is good, and I really enjoyed it. I thought of the three I saw, it nailed the point the most, and that was definitely this kind of what you think a female should be versus being your own person. And Anna's character is very much her own person, but at the same time, she's struggling with her lack of success in her career, and she's jealous of Beth's success. But yeah, it's great. I highly recommend it to people.
Okay. These films, will they be available in theaters, do you think, or are these going to go direct to
I think
on
all
demand?
we had will go on demand, just my guess, and then Always Shine might get a little
depending upon what it does in the competition?
Yeah, we'll see. I think the awards ceremony Saturday night, and I'm hopefully going to be back down there again Saturday to see some more stuff. They've got a few cool events going on Saturday, and the people down there at Tribeca have been great, and there's tons of press releases. I get 20 of them a day, and I have to sift through what's what. And so, yeah, hopefully Saturday I get back down there, and the awards ceremony for these competitions, all we had is going for the spotlight, kind of just showing first-time directors. And I thought Katie Holmes, considering it was her first movie, did a pretty good job.
There's a lot to think about when you're directing a film.
Definitely.
And
you're starring
especially
in it too.
when you're starring in it as well, yeah. So the third film you saw.
Very interesting movie too. Southwest of Salem is about the San Antonio Four and the whole kind of satanic panic of the 70s, 80s, and 90s. And so these four women were wrongfully accused of...
This is a documentary.
This is a documentary, right. Real story about these four Latino women who were wrongfully accused of child molestation in 1994 in San Antonio, Texas.
Convicted and sent away.
Convicted, yes, decades. They have gotten out recently, but they're still not...
Yeah, it was only a couple years ago that they were released.
They're still fully not innocent. They're still waiting trial to get...
Are they going to retry them?
Yes.
Yeah, because they wanted that, though, because they can't get compensation for the wrongful arrests if they don't get declared innocent.
Exactly. Yeah, so it's been a 2-decade-plus battle, and my kind of takeaway from this one was very well done documentary, but I think it's 87 minutes or something like that, and it's not enough time to focus on all the social issues because you got obviously the wrongfully accused, so there's the social judicial aspect of it that they talk about, and then there's the satanic panic of they're witches and they have this ritual of molesting these girls.
Were they all lesbians? Is that?
Yes, yeah, all four of them were lesbians, and so that whole homophobic aspect of it. So I thought it would have been better as like a 6-part, documentary series. But as a documentary itself, I think the director did a very good job with it. It's a hard story to tell. Another one where it's like you're kind of like looking at the ceiling like this is so uncomfortable.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Not easy stuff. It was 5 hours of intense drama, but
on a Saturday morning.
It was good. It was good to see that these women were able to make these films, and there's a lot of female directors at the film festival this year making a lot of movies.
Yeah, that seemed to be a theme in the collection that I saw.
Absolutely.
So the festival runs through Saturday?
Sunday is actually the last day. Yeah,
so they
April
do the
24th.
awards Saturday night, and you can still catch some things on Sunday.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah, you saw a lot of world premieres this past week, and there's a few more, I believe.
Yeah, and they have a great selector online, which is very helpful if you're trying to figure out what you want to see. You can go into the Tribeca website and just put in, say you want to see character studies.
They have every sheet of every type of movie. Like if you're like into food movies, they have a sheet for that.
Yep.
If you have movies about lesbian rights, they have a sheet for that.
It's very well organized,
Yeah.
and it makes it very easy to choose what you want to see.
Yeah, very well done. I can't say enough good things. People should really check it out. If they
Yeah.
can't go this year, next year it's going to be there. It's the 15th year this year. Next year will be the 16th.
Yeah.
It's a great film festival. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I thought it was a great opportunity to talk about Hollywood and women because you keep seeing this as a recurring theme. You got directors like Catherine Bigelow, who won for Hurt Locker. You have Maggie Gyllenhaal, who spoke out about she's unable to act in a role of a 37-year-old when she's 37, which is crazy. And you have Patricia Arquette, who made a stand at the Academy Awards, and then
About compensation,
Ava
yeah.
DuVernay, the director of Selma.
Yeah.
So those are four that come to mind. There's also Jennifer Lawrence, Meryl Streep, and a ton of others that have spoken out on this issue, and it's an important one. And it was good to get down there and see these three movies. A surprise, too. Again, not what I intended to see, but it was kind of what the schedule gave me, and I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Good.
I'd recommend Always Shine to people that are in the mood for a psychological thriller. It's a lot of fun.
Okay.
On that note, we'll head off to our commercial break. We come back, we got Jay Rowe, who's going to play some jazz for us on the keyboard, which will be a lot of fun, and we'll be right back.
It's time to come back to hometown banking, where people are taken into account, not just balances, where community comes first, a place where there's more than one kind of interest, where automation will never replace consideration, where they not only know your name, they know your dog's name too. It's time to expect more. It's time to bank well. Bank smart. Bank local. Bank well.
Walter Stewart's Market in New Canaan is your time-saving local shopping destination for the best of spring. Find many of your favorite products, from great specials on everyday items to the freshest organic produce, artisanal cheeses, and grass-fed steaks. Chop off your knives to be sharpened, grab a beautiful bouquet of spring flowers, and stop in next door for a wine tasting. Plus, their personable staff is always ready to lend a helping hand. So stop in to Walter Stewart's Market, 229 Elm Street today, or shop online at stewartsmarket.com.
Join the HAN Network and Make-A-Wish Connecticut to help make travel wishes come true for local kids with life-threatening medical conditions. Donate your unused airline miles to the HAN Network Wishes in Flight campaign. Over 70% of wishes granted involve travel, and your unused airline miles can help make kids' dreams become a reality. Plus, once you donate your miles to Make-A-Wish, they will never expire. Donate your unused miles and help the HAN Network share the power of a wish.
What's happening up in Hartford and what's trending in the Nutmeg State.
Join Kate Chaplinsky
And Josh Fisher.
on CT Pulse live Wednesdays at 12:30 to find out.
We talk to the leaders and newsmakers while breaking down the stories you should be paying attention to each week.
With the help of HAN's editorial cartoonist Doug Smith, we take a humorous look at the news of the week. We talk about everything you were told you should avoid bringing up in polite company.
CT Pulse, Wednesdays at 12:30 on the HAN Network.
You are watching the HAN Network, and you're not alone. Nearly 500,000 viewers enjoyed our broadcasts in the first 5 months. Advertise on the network that reaches Fairfield County, Connecticut's most engaged audience. Contact Jessica Murrin, Advertising Director, at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
We're joined in the studio with our jazz artist, Jay Rowe, who's going to be playing next weekend, April 29th and April 30th. Jay, I believe you have some music to play us here live in the studio.
Yes, I do.
Welcome to the HAN Network's hub here in Shelton,
Thanks for having me.
and I'll let you take it away.
All right.
with
come
us.
join us, Jay. Now the event is called Smooth Jazz for Scholars. It's going to be at the Parsons Complex in New Milford. Again,
New Milford.
Oh, Milford. Sorry, my fault.
Yes, quite a
Whole
difference.
different thing.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Friday, April 29th, and then also Saturday, April 30th. This is the 14th annual
Yes. that's
time
right.
that this is going to be happening.
Yes.
Jay, welcome to the couch. Thank you for
Thank you.
performing for us.
Yeah.
We always enjoy having live music done.
What was that called?
That's called Smooth Ride. That's the title track of my upcoming CD.
All right.
It should be out in a few weeks.
It's smooth.
I was going to say, it sounds like a smooth ride.
Yeah.
It is.
I was bobbing here on the couch. I was getting into it. I could still hear it in my ear.
Well,
And so those of us who don't know anything about the event, you're giving a lot of money back to this high school, right? The music program there, is that correct?
Yeah, the whole music program from K through 12 really.
You went to school
Yeah.
in Milford,
That's
so this
right,
is dear to
yes.
your heart.
Yeah. I went to. I grew up in the Milford school system. Went to Calf Pen Meadow Grammar School.
Shout out.
Kindergarten through 8th grade.
Yeah. Okay.
Then 4 in high school.
Uh-huh.
And
Any teachers' names you want to mention here?
Yeah, I mean, I have to mention, my grammar school teacher, Leslie Frankel,
Uh-huh.
who's never come to one of these shows. I think she still plays in the Bridgeport Symphony.
Really?
I think. Yeah.
So she was your grammar school music teacher?
2nd grade, I think, third grade through 8th grade.
Wow.
Yeah, and like by the time, I mean, it's funny when back then, when you were in the same school, for that long, you really, I mean, you became, it really was like a big family,
Yeah.
and what was neat about it was, by the time I was in 6th grade, I'd been playing piano for about a year and 2 months maybe, but I was good enough to be able to put start my first band, with a couple 8th graders and
that's
and everything,
tough.
and it was funny. The name of that band was Darla's Gang, Darla Lupica, if she's watching.
Another shout out.
She was, no, but it was a good little band. I mean, the band could really play.
Uh-huh.
I had my first electric keyboard was an old Farfisa organ that had a bass section on it.
Wow.
Right? So I ran that thing, and any of you guitar bass players out there will like this little technical tidbit of information. But I ran it through a Fender Bassman 50, which was a bass amp, right? But it made the bass sound that much better, and it also made the tinniness of the Farfisa. What a Farfisa organ sounds like. Any of you Elvis Costello fans out there who hear the song "Pump It Up" by Elvis Costello, that's the Farfisa organ.
Okay.
So it had that real gritty, edgy sound to it. But needless to say, that was the first portable keyboard that I had, so I could go from one basement to the next, one school party to the next.
So you were doing
Wild.
rock and roll back then?
Back then, yeah.
When did you discover jazz?
Well, I started playing jazz when my voice changed, and I could no longer sing like all the high tenors who were the popular singers of the day. The Steve Perry from Journey and Robin Zander from Cheap Trick and all those people.
So you were doing covers before?
Yeah. So I started learning how to play jazz. The summer when I was like right after 8th grade. Mm-hmm. That's when I really started getting into it.
And you mentioned Elvis Costello. Who are some of the other people that you started listening to around that time?
Oh God! Well, I mean, I was always, as a little kid, I was listening to the Beatles. Like the Doors. I mean, the Doors and rock and roll always remained. Rock and pop music have, stayed a major part of my musical life. All along. It's just for my own records and the things I pursue, up to this point in my own solo career have been more contemporary jazz related. So.
Yeah, so you've got a CD coming out.
That's right.
And
you've been touring all around the world, from London to Tokyo to Kansas.
That's right. Last year was a pretty wild year.
Yeah.
It was real busy, and this is the time of the year where a lot of things are in place, but there's still last minute things that come up. I don't think I found out about the Tokyo trip. We went in the beginning of September or mid-September, and I think we were still getting our visas in July.
Wow, wow.
And now you're bringing it all back home to Milford at the
That's
Parsons
right.
Complex. Have you been performing there the last 13 years
Yes,
as well?
we started Smooth Jazz for Scholars in 2003, and we've since, over the last 13 years, we've had probably, 28 different artists in the genre, perform at this show. So it's become a outside of the Hartford Jazz Festival or the series of shows that they do at the Lyman Auditorium in Southern Connecticut. This has become a major stop, on the contemporary jazz touring circuit.
And you started out doing this all yourself, right? I mean, you still put it together pretty much yourself?
Pretty much, yeah. A good friend of mine, Kevin McCabe, who's from the Hartford area, he used to run the Hartford Jazz Festival. Mm-hmm. And we met back in like 1999, and then he really gave me the template for this, and he's still involved. He handles everything, day of show, front of house. It's all him and his staff that he brings in to run it. But from this point on, up until now, I'm pretty much handling the whole thing.
Wow.
I'm probably one of the only people who's, like the musical director of the thing, and also the travel agent and the the maitre d' and the ticket broker and
The man who's wearing many hats.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, but I like it. I think the fans kind of like it too when they figure out that it's me who's helping them get an aisle seat. When they have when they've just had knee replacement surgery or something like that. That's really happened.
That gets pretty granular then.
Yeah,
You're getting right down to the
oh
nitty-gritty.
yeah.
Has it always been a 2-night event, or has it just been by demand you've extended
This is
it?
the 4th year that we did
Nice.
that we're doing 2 nights. I noticed from having performed at many jazz festivals in the country that most of them are at least 2 days. Some are 5-day long festivals. In this particular,
That could really wear you out. That would be tiring.
well, yeah, but the audience loves to travel. I mean, they like destination festivals, and they like being able to go somewhere for 2 days and hear some great music. And I mean, Milford's an amazing town.
The downtown is awesome.
Yeah.
With all
It's
the
beautiful.
restaurants.
Especially in the
water.
springtime.
Oh,
It's going to
yeah,
be
yeah.
absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, it's beautiful, and it really lends itself to this kind of event.
Lots of restaurants for people to.
Oh, yeah. Yep. You can get to the Parsons Complex right off the train.
Yep.
Yeah.
How big of a venue is the Parsons Complex for those who've never been there?
The official capacity is 967 seats.
Yeah, that's
Perfect size.
That's a good crowd.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, so talk a little about the musicians you've got this year.
All right, well, for Friday, April 29th, we have the great guitarist, Peter White. I don't know where I should be looking here.
You just tell me.
Okay, just tell you.
Yeah.
All right, guitarist, Peter White.
Yeah.
Saxophonist, Marion Meadows. Pianist, Brian Simpson. And another guitarist, Matt Marshak. That's on Friday, April 29th.
Have you played with all these guys?
I've played with all of them.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and then Saturday we have guitarist Nick Colleone, the guitarist from the great super jazz group Special Effects, Chieli Benucci is playing. My old buddy from New England Conservatory, who is nice enough to take me to Tokyo with him, Nelson Rangel, is also playing Saturday night. And then Eric Darius, a great young sax player. I played on his debut record 12 years ago, and
Wow.
he's become another international jazz saxophone superstar. He's coming from Mallorca. He's at the Mallorca Festival like in a few days.
So he's
And then
flying in.
He's coming here.
He's coming right in.
Good.
Yeah.
Buy him some ice cream.
I will. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's quite a lineup. The doors open at 7. Concert starts at 8.
That's right, yes.
The venue is located at 70 West River Street in Milford. Is
That's
that right?
correct, yep.
Tickets can be purchased online at Smooth Jazz for Scholars 2016.eventbrite.com. Is that right?
That's correct, yeah. And they can go right to my website, jromusic.com. And
you get a deal if
There'll
you
be
buy
a
2
link there.
nights, right? If you buy
link-
both nights, it's $70.
Yes, that's right. That's right. And the link's on the homepage, along with there's I have ticket outlets in downtown Milford, also Cafe Atlantique.
Yeah, I was going to say there's a few businesses that
Yep,
are
Cafe
selling the tickets.
Atlantique on River Street, and the Canvas Patch on River Street, Archeolo Shoes on Broad Street, right across from the green.
It's good to have some allies in the
Yeah.
downtown
Oh,
area.
absolutely. Yeah. The Milford Fine Arts Center, located at the train station. They sell tickets.
Good.
And you'd think it would be redundant, but what's funny is not everybody likes to use a credit card. Not everybody needs a reserved seat. It's interesting when you learn, the buying habits of the public and how they like to see shows and
You'll usually have some tickets at the door too. right?
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
You got to give them as many options as possible.
You do. You really do. I would think it's redundant, but it's not.
No, some people like to plan ahead, some don't.
Well, it's amazing how many people don't plan ahead.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
At the last
really-
minute at 6 o'clock next Friday, they're going to say, "Oh, jazz festival."
It happens.
Yeah.
It really happens. Or they can't decide if they want to go. They can't decide what night they want to go. They can't decide they can't find anybody to go with them. Then they end up coming themselves, or
Buy the tickets, it's for a good cause
Yeah, it is
for a
anyway,
good
even
cause.
if you
It's all
can't
going
get
to the
there.
schools.
Yeah.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Good.
Jay, thank you for stopping by the couch, for playing
Thanks
us
for
some
having me.
music, for talking about the
Great
event.
fun.
Sounds like it'll be a fun one. Again, it's next week, Friday the 29th and Saturday the 30th, Parsons Complex in Milford. It was great having you on.
Thanks. My
We'll be
pleasure.
back next week with some more Arts and Leisure on the HAN Network. Have a great weekend, everybody.